Good day, everybody. Faubourg45 here. Today we're going to look over a couple of my 1892 Winchester rifles. We have with us an original 1892 Winchester, and then we have a current production produced by Winchester / Browning in Japan by Miroku. We'll take a deep dive on the differences and some close-ups for you guys to compare. First rifle we'll talk about here today is the original 1892 Winchester. In other words, the Model 92 is another name given for it. Both of these configurations are in the saddle ring carbine. You can tell the way the carbine is by the more square butt plates, the straight grip, of course the saddle ring. Both of these have the ladder sight, not the traditional buckhorn. These have the adjustable ladder sight, which are standard on the carbines. Has this barrel band here, and both of these are in a short 20-inch barrel. Of course, the longer sporter versions were 24-inch and such, so that Winchester made a lot of different barrel lengths. Starting with the original Winchester, 1892. 1892, of course, for those who aren't familiar, is the model number, the year the rifle was first introduced and patented. That does not necessarily mean when the rifle was made, right? This particular one was made in 1905, as per verifying the serial number with Winchester. One of the key features of the 1892 is, of course, these locking lugs. This rifle was designed by John A. Browning. The first time we got to see the locking lugs was in the model 1886, which is the bigger brother of this firearm. The 1886, popular in calibers like 45-70, 45-90. That was where John A. Browning first brought this type of action. These locking lugs fall down through, are attached to the lever here. So once the cartridge is placed in the chamber and brought up, the locking lugs secure the bolt, so making it for a very strong action. So the 1892 was made after the 1886, obviously, and it also had the same design but in a smaller package. And it's a much smaller, lighter rifle with a smaller receiver, made for mostly shooting, pistol round calibers. This original is in 44 Winchester centerfire, as it marked up here, which is 4440, as we know, which is a very popular round back in the day. We have an example of the 4440 right here. Centerfire cartridge. Wasn't uncommon to have both the revolver and the rifle chambered in the same caliber. Moving on is the current production Winchester. The current production Winchester, this one particularly is a Winchester / Browning, made in Japan by a company called Miroku. In my mind, these are the best reproductions today. Way more so better than Pedersoli and the Italian brand. It's escaping me right now. I'll get back to you on that. But yes, obviously the reproductions stamped with the Winchester company's name today / Browning. If you're not familiar, they're the same company, the same owners. Obviously, that company is going to do the best at making the reproductions. In my mind, I've held both the Italian remakes and Uberti remakes, of course, is another one. Rossi is the other brand. I've come across a number of 1892 Rossis, which I think are the lowest of the quality as far as all the replicas go. Rossi's a lot more stiff action and not very smooth at all. This one here is a current production. I've had it for a number of 5 years, and this one, it has the large loop lever, similar to what Cowboy himself on TV has all the time, John Wayne. So that you see the difference here. Otherwise, they're both saddle ring carbines, ladder sights. Obviously the saddle ring on there. The distinguish here is the lever size. Both these came in different lever sizes. This one obviously was more practical. This one's more of a creation by Hollywood, but it does fit gloves very easily, and of course made famous by Chuck Connors as well, the large loop lever, who had an 1892. Back to the manufacturer. Yeah, so these are the current production ones on Winchester's website, if you will. Just like all of Winchester's modern firearms and Browning's modern firearms, they're all made in a factory in Japan called Miroku. Usually the stamping here would verify that right away for us on all Browning firearms. Made by Miroku, Japan, imported to Utah. So, of course, with the Winchester reproductions, they're allowed to put their name on it. So right here you'll see on the tang, Winchester model 1892. While we're here, we see the difference of the safety. All the new productions, of course, have the tang safety as well as a rebounding hammer, which that means right now this could be called half cock. It's not resting on the firing pin, but this is full cock, and then when I bring it down, it always goes back to the rebound position or half cock, not allowing to hit the firing pin. The only time that goes to the full extent is when, of course, I pull the trigger and this is off safe. It hits the firing pin and then quickly rebounds off again. So that, of course, is a major difference between the two models. Going back to the old one, we can see how this is in the full fired position, fallen position. This is half cock, so similar to the rebounding position, and then this being full cock. And I could pick each stage I want it to go at. We'll leave that at half cock for now. I'll quickly turn over the firearms. You can see the loading gate side. Similarities. This. Of course, perfect remake as far as the looks between the both. Only the tang safety being the noticeable difference. But I've shot this 1892. This one here is in 45 Colt. Here's the size of the cartridge compared to the 4440. Very similar. I've had the 44 Colt here for a number of years, and I've shot it. Never once had a hang up. Cycle's beautiful, very smooth, accurate, well built rifle. This rifle in Canada, somewhat hard to find, the current production ones, but when you do find them new at a store, they're between $1,500 and $1,700 Canadian. Still not bad, but way more expensive than your Rossies, your Birdies, and such. You can find a Rossi for the $900 range most of the time. And you see a lot of videos of people with the Rossies. They're more popular, if you will, because they're a little more easy to find. The Winchester production ones in Miroku are sometimes a little harder to find, but I find more expensive, better build quality, and you can really tell the difference when comparing. It's really the only production people should be buying, I find, is the Winchester name, Browning name out of Miroku. And I'm really happy with it. So it's pretty cool to have two rifles side by side, both current production and original, especially both being the same configurations. All right, 20-inch barrel, carbine, saddle ring, ladder sight. So it's a very, very cool comparison to have each of them side by side. This 1892 and 4440 still working. Fires great. I don't fire it as much as my 45, obviously. This one gets to see more action nowadays, and this one is more of a safe queen. But you could tell it's in great shape, great working order, and it's nice to get out these firearms and have a look at them sometimes. We'll pan up close with the camera and give you guys a good look at them.